What's going on, guys? This is Root Beer is awesome, ready to give you your WWE Monday Night RAW review and results for June 13th, 2016. Now, this is the go-home show for WWE Money in the Bank, and I gotta say that I was really worried because for the past few weeks, we're getting a show that has been really lackluster. I was really worried that WWE wouldn't be able to get me invested in this show, because I gotta say that even though I'm really intrigued with what's gonna happen with John Cena and AJ Styles, and that we have a good bunch of competitors in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I felt like I needed that push that had me wanting to um, be able to see Money in the Bank this Sunday. That would have me on the edge of my seat, waiting for the show to start. That would make me want to not to miss the show and put close and special attention to every single minute of it. And I feel like tonight's Raw, even though it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was a decent show. I think it actually made me want to see WWE Money in the Bank more. I think that they did make a good job investing myself and everyone on the most important matches of the show, which are the WWE Championship, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns match, with the challenger Rollins and the champion Reigns, John Cena versus AJ Styles, the Money in the Bank ladder match, and also the Women's Championship match. I think they did make a good job getting us ready and prepared for this Sunday. Now, the show started with a graphic on the big screen reading "We Stand with Orlando," which I fully support. This is something that I think we all expected to happen on the show, and it's a class act from the WWE to take a little bit of time to show some respect, to show that they are standing with the families of everyone who was in this incident and actually, you know, were victims of a big tragedy. You know, I think that whatever people's beliefs are, I think we should be respectful from everyone. And if you don't like something, man, if you don't like somebody, if you don't like the way they think, the way they act, the way they live their lives, simply should just ignore them, live your own life. And at any point, you should never even think about taking someone's life just because of those kind of reasons. But anyway, after that, we get some promotions. We get some segments on that we're gonna be able to see later on the night, promoted, like the Ambrose Asylum, like the contract signing between John Cena and AJ Styles, which both events, the Ambrose Asylum, which was gonna feature the WWE champion Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. We all knew that this segment would be good, but the contract signing between John Cena and AJ Styles, I actually didn't think would be as good as it actually was. But the segment actually was able to prove me wrong. To exceed my expectations. Now, after we see this, the first segment that we have is the New Day coming out to the ring, which I gotta say that after a couple of months of watching them, they have been WWE Tag Team Champions for so long. They have been running this same act for so long already, and you would actually think that by now everything within them would be stale. You would think that what they did as heels would just not be working now that they have made a turn as baby faces. But in my opinion, the New Day are actually been able to keep everything fresh. They have been able to still deliver good segments, which is something that I think WWE lacked, because whenever they had anybody in the ring trying to be funny, most of the times they would come off as corny and cheesy, and it would actually backfire on them. But the New Day has been able to pull something really entertaining, and for the past few months, the New Day used to be the most entertaining guys that you would see on Monday nights. They are still doing something that's kind of entertaining. They can actually cater to the young audiences, but also they are able to get you and me, who are already adults, interested in what they are doing. Now you add Big Cass and Enzo to this formula, and you get a great segment, which is what they did. They got Big Enzo and Cass come out and interrupt the New Day, and what you would get next is something really entertaining, but also this just goes to show you what they have been doing with the Vaudevillains, because they came out to interrupt both ex Enzo and Cass and the New Day to make the segment one of their own. Now, the Vaudevillains have a really different gimmick from what we are used to see in the modern day WWE. They are not the typical non-gimmick fighter guys, but also they are not the colorful gimmick WWE guys. They are kind of a gimmick that's a classic kind of guy, and you would think that with the audiences that you normally see on WWE crowds, they would just not be able to get over. But they have done that, and I feel this segment kind of show that. I'm not completely sure if this is due because they are feuding with the New Day and Enzo and Cass. It could probably be that, but I think that if that's the reason, they did a great job putting the Vaudevillains against them, because it's a great way to introduce them to the WWE audience, and the universe is actually now getting to know what the Vaudevillains can offer. Now, after a few minutes of them being out on the ramp, they now get interrupted by the Club, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Both guys come out and say that this needs to get serious, that they're going to show everyone how this needs to be done. They start walking down to the ring, get a commercial break, and after that we get an 8-man tag team match between the New Day, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass versus the Club and the Vaudevillains. Now, the match was your typical Team A getting the upper hand, now Team B getting the upper hand a little bit after that. And while it was a really good, really entertaining match, it wasn't that great, and you would get a finish with Gallows getting the pin on Kofi Kingston, giving the win to the Club and the Vaudevillains. Now, what is this? How is this going to translate into Money in the Bank? We don't know. We have a fatal 4-way WWE Tag Team Championship match this Sunday featuring those 4 teams, and it will be interesting to see if the WWE actually decides to pull the trigger that they should have done ever since the Club debuted on the WWE and give them the WWE Tag Team Championships. It's going to be interesting because the New Day have been tag team champions for so long, but you also have Big Cass and Enzo really over, and also the Vaudevillains, who are pretty much showing the WWE universe that the NXT tag teams are big enough to compete with whatever the WWE has to offer on its main roster. Now, just after that, we got another Make Darren Young Great Again segment with obviously Darren Young and Bob Backlund. What is this leading up to? We don't know. We can just expect Darren Young to get a push. We don't know if this is just gonna be ending in another failed attempt of a repackage that probably shouldn't even have started. Darren Young was teaming with Titus O'Neil which is someone that I actually want to speak about a little bit later. And they broke up a team that already had experience. I know that the WWE Tag Team division is building in this so-called new era. You have Enzo and Cass. You have the Usos, which are nothing new, to be honest. You have the Club. You have the Bob Villains. You have amazing teams that could be called up anytime soon on NXT. And you got the Lucha Dragons already there. You got pretty much a lot of good teams, but that doesn't mean that you had to get rid of Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. They were a good team. Probably they were not the most over. They probably didn't have the most entertaining gimmick, but I think that there was no reason to get them separated. Now, what's gonna happen with Darren Young, we don't know. I'm looking forward to see where this actually takes Young, but I just don't feel that this will be his breakout moment. Now, we get, after this, the return of the Director of Operations, Kane. Why is Kane doing this, man? Kane, I mean, I really don't want to get in a rant about this, but Kane should not be in this position. Whenever he returned a few years back with his mask on, that should have been the point where WWE finally gave Kane the run he deserved with his character. But after many years of failing to do so, I honestly just don't see why I had any faith of them not going back to this. But Kane gives his resume, gives a letter of recommendation from The Undertaker, of all people, to Shane and Stephanie, telling them that he could be the right person to help them when SmackDown goes live on July 19th. You know, this was just what I was talking about when I started this review. The WWE tries to give us some funny segments, but they actually turn out to be really corny and cheesy. Kane's character has been ruined already, you know. And with this kind of things, I just don't see why anybody would be invested on this. But anyway, after the commercial break, you get Titus O'Neil walking out on the ring, making his entrance. You get Rusev attacking him. Titus O'Neil, man. You get the guy a singles run, but why do you not repackage him? Like I said, I don't think Darren Young and Titus O'Neil should have been split. I just don't think they should have. But if you already did, look at what Darren Young is doing. I'm not too much into what they are doing with him, but I feel like Titus O'Neil should have been repackaged too. He's even using the same old theme song that he was using when he was teaming with Darren Young. Why? Why can't you give him a different personality? If you actually want him to succeed on his own, the first thing that you should do is give him a character to work with. They haven't done that yet. I don't think they will yet, if ever, you know. So you get Rusev attacking him, and, you know, the next thing you see, another video package promoting the Ambrose Asylum featuring Seth Rollins and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns before you get into another commercial break. And just as we get back, the Ambrose Asylum is about to start. Dean Ambrose comes out. Dean Ambrose introduces both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and they start talking about the new era and about a lot of stuff, you know, the special he had, Rollins had on the WWE Network, you know, and everything starts a little better when they start calling Rollins a party pooper, and Rollins starts to speak about the moment he had a few years ago when WrestleMania was on New Orleans. He actually says that the best moments he's had on that ring were with the Shield, and the crowd starts to cheer him. Ambrose and Reigns seem to be a little bit interested in what he's saying. Rollins starts to bring up the matches they had with the Wyatts, with Evolution, but also in typical heel fashion, Rollins says one of the best moments he's had with them with the Shield, where when he actually hit with a chair on both of them, and obviously when he cashed in on Roman Reigns to become the WWE champion at WrestleMania 31. They start exchanging words, things start getting a little bit out of control, but Ambrose does a good job, keeping them a little bit calmed down with no physical interaction. And they keep on exchanging words, saying with Reigns saying that Rollins was never able to pull anything out of his achievements and accolades on his own, because he always had help. Rollins gets pissed off, saying he never got help. He did everything on his own. Ambrose then says, you had help from J&J Security, Corporate King, the Authority, and at the very end of this segment, when everything is starting to get heat up, Ambrose actually brings out the fact that he's going to be wrestling in the WWE Money in the Bank ladder match, and pretty much tells them that he is going to win that briefcase, and it doesn't matter if Rollins wins or if Reigns wins, he is going to be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now, things get physical. Rollins attacks Ambrose and Reigns, and Rollins about to attack. Ambrose attacks Rollins, then Reigns gets back into the ring. He pulls out Ambrose. They start attacking each other, and at the very end, Reigns takes Rollins out. But after Reigns turns over, Ambrose hits him with the dirty deeds. He points to the briefcase above the ring, and the crowd was eating everything in the palm of their hands. This segment was a really, the thing that you actually need to promote one of this kind of matches. You actually tell the people, hey, Ambrose could be winning the WWE Money in the Bank contract, and also he could be getting himself inserted into a WWE World Heavyweight title match that very same night, which already has a big story. It would be all logical because they have an amazing backstory to it with the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Now, after the next commercial break, we get a non-title match between Charlotte and Paige. It actually, it was nothing special, but it actually surprised me to see Paige getting the win over Charlotte. Charlotte backstage is really pissed off at Dana Brooke for costing her the match. She says she's not going to tolerate any failures, that she has no room for mistakes. So pretty much Charlotte is doing an amazing job as a women's heel. He's doing an amazing job being the face of that division. Now, also you get Cesaro in an interview with Renee Young, and Sami Zayn comes out to interrupt. They're going to have a match tonight on Raw, and Cesaro pretty much tells Zayn that he has to prove himself. Cesaro has been there for a couple of years and says that Zayn has been there just for a couple of months, so that he has to start all over again, and Zayn has a lot of proof. Pretty much, telling Zayn that treating Zayn as if he was a rookie, and trying to get you hyped for their match later on tonight. Now, Sheamus versus Zack Ryder. Sheamus versus Zack Ryder was pretty much a squash match. I don't think anybody actually thought that Ryder was gonna win this match, and there's actually no reason why we should invest too much time on speaking on this. You get the Brock. Well, Sheamus hit Ryder with a Brogue Kick, and pretty much he got the win after that. Now, Cesaro versus Sami Zayn, man. Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. We've already seen these guys having great matches back in NXT. They actually had the match of the year back, a few years back, and I was a little bit worried because I knew that these guys will be able to deliver, but being honest, having this match on Raw pretty much made me thought that they would not have enough time, that it would be just impossible to even keep up what they had worked back in NXT. But with the time they were giving, this guy, both of these guys actually, I would say, out of everything that we have seen in Raw for probably the whole year, man, this has been the match of the year on Raw. You haven't seen any match that has been better on free television on Monday Night Raw than Cesaro and Sami Zayn had tonight. It was a really heated match. It was a really fast-paced match. That Zayn at the very end was able to win with a sunset flip. He got a big reaction, and I think that this is the kind of things that we need to introduce the new NXT guys to the roster, having great matches, giving them wins, important wins. Now, this one being more important, not just because he was against a proven wrestler like Cesaro, but also because this is just on the home show before WWE Money in the Bank. Now, something that I was living out was a backstage segment between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. Kane was there. Owens starts talking trash about Del Rio, who then shows up, and after they start to argue with Del Rio speaking Spanish, giving insults at Kevin Owens, Kane suggests that they will have a tag team match against the Lucha Dragons, and if they lose, they are going to be replaced by both Sin Cara and his tag team partner Kalisto on the Money in the Bank ladder match, leaving Del Rio and Owens out. Now, that match wasn't really that great. It was pretty much obvious that Del Rio and Owens would win, and yes, it's a match that Owens won along with Del Rio after Kevin made a pop-up powerbomb to keep both of them in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, this is another segment that I feel was really important into building Money in the Bank. This segment that actually exceeded my expectations between AJ Styles and John Cena. I don't know really why I didn't actually believe they would pull this off as great as they did, because to be quite honest, AJ Styles has not shown any signs of being bad on the microphone on the WWE, and John Cena has been able to, I gotta say this as it is, John Cena has closed a lot of mouths. John Cena has been able to show everyone that whenever a big match is about to happen, John Cena can and will be able to let you know, to feel you, to make you feel this is important, and to invest you into a match. This is what both guys did on this segment. John Cena comes out after being introduced to Michael Cole. John Cena tells Michael Cole that he advises him to get outside of the ring. You notice that there's a table with contracts, and yes, there were 2 contracts on the table, which there was a reference made. AJ Styles comes out after Cena calls him out, and John Cena starts telling AJ Styles that there are two contracts right there on the table, because one is for AJ Styles versus John Cena at Money in the Bank, but the other one would allow the match to be John Cena versus AJ Styles with the club at Money in the Bank. AJ Styles starts telling John Cena that he will have never accomplished anything he had in the past 15 years had it not been that he was not allowed to be in the WWE. AJ Styles says that had he been there, he would have been champion. John Cena would have never been the face of the company, but AJ would have. And John Cena actually comes back telling him that that's all you'll hear from every other indie guy. John Cena actually mentioned AJ Styles winning more championships than the 15 world titles that John Cena had. He actually says that his work on PWG, on Ring of Honor, on Japan is recognized on his behalf by AJ Styles. And that's something that kind of interested me, because they did mention some indie promotions and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they never made a mention of whatever he did on TNA. But nonetheless, AJ Styles decided to finally sign the contract that stated that it would be just AJ Styles versus John Cena, and pretty much seal that the club won't be able to show up on that match. Now, finally, you get the main event between Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, which was an entertaining match. Nothing that you haven't seen with this two guys before. This feud has been going for some months, and to be quite honest with you, I don't feel like that feud has been entertaining at all. It has been a stupid feud because they started fighting for stupid reasons, but I feel like this match was good, and as you would expect at any other go-home show with a multi-man match, after Dean Ambrose was able to win with the following of Dirty Deeds, you would get Dean Ambrose getting inside the ring along with Sami Zayn and Del Rio, and everyone attacking each other. But what was most interesting above everything was that the last image that you would see was Chris Jericho climbing the ladder and letting everybody know he is ready to pick up the briefcase that has inside the contract to fight for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at any time in the next year. Will Jericho win? I don't think so. I'm actually sure that Jericho won't be the one winning. I know you know that too, but it's kind of interesting that they actually gave him that rub to close the show like that. So this is all I got for today. I hope that you actually enjoy. If you have any opinions, anything that you want to say, you can state that on the comments. If you like the video, remember to like the video. I will be coming back soon in a few days to give you a preview and predictions on WWE Money in the Bank for this Sunday. And I hope you guys have a great night.